Hi, and welcome to my channel. This is Shelly's Everyday Prepping Adventures. Thank you for coming over here. I appreciate everybody that subscribed. Thank you, Hippie Chick, for giving me a shout out and sending people my way. I was listening to Hippie Chick's video from last night, and she was talking about a young lady whose car got dented in the parking lot and how she tried to help. And that reminds me of something that happened recently in my area. We live in a pretty rural area of Maryland. I mean, it's not as rural as it used to be when I grew up, but it's pretty small. And there's a lady and her husband who, now this is less than a mile from my home. The lady and her husband used to always go to McDonald's and get their breakfast and coffee, and then they would sit in the parking lot because it's in a little mall. So they would sit in the parking lot of the Big Lots right across from the McDonald's and eat their breakfast and drink their coffee. Well, her husband passed about a year or so ago, and she just kept doing that. She kept going and sitting in the parking lot and drinking her coffee and eating her breakfast from McDonald's. Well, apparently a week or so ago, while she was sitting there, a white panel van pulled in near her, and a man got out and started walking towards her. Well, she thought maybe he wanted to know where something was. I'm not sure what she thought, but she thought she'd be helpful, so she rolled the window down. Now, me personally, I would not have done that, but this goes to your kindness can get you in trouble. So she rolled the window down, and he come over to her window, and I'm not sure how he did it, but he quickly wrapped something around her wrist and pulled her hand out the window. He said, I want your rings. He only had, I want your rings. And she said, you can't have my rings. My husband gave me these and he's passed away. And he said, I don't care. I'm from, and I forget what country he told her he was from, but I need gas for my van and I want your rings. So he took her rings. I just don't know. I mean, to me, that goes to our southern border being open. I just have to worry that, that's not coming to everywhere in the United States. I don't know. But it concerns me. It concerns me. And like I said, Hippie Chick brought that up, and it made me think about things. And I know about 2 years back, my daughter has 3 children, and at the time she only had 2. And her husband worked nights, and she had made friends with a couple of people that worked in the Dunkin'. They were of Indian descent. Nothing against Indian people. I have nothing against anyone. Nothing against anybody. It's your behavior that gets me, not your nationality, your color. I love everybody. I just want to put that out there. But for some reason, it was a guy, one of the guys, he found out her address, and they had been very friendly to my granddaughter, who was only 3 or 4 at the time. And I kept telling my daughter, don't be so trusting, don't be trusting. Anyway, so one night, he shows up at her house with a pizza. And she refused to eat it, and my daughter likes to be polite, so she, didn't throw him out. I don't know why, but she did, thank heavens, have enough knowledge that I'd put into her to actually call a friend that lived close. So her friend showed up, which did not make this man very happy. This man was he's in his 20s. So finally he left. My daughter did not eat any of the pizza, and she put it in the refrigerator. Dumb, my opinion, but that's all, that's all I have to say about that. So anyway, so she put it in the refrigerator, And the next morning, she decided she was going to have a piece of it. Well, she ate a piece of the pizza and passed out in her floor. She felt sick. She felt dizzy. She wasn't well. She managed to call me, and I went over and I said, you need to call the police and let them know what's going on. Well, she did, and of course, they can't test the pizza, blah 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 blah. They couldn't find the guy. So, I mean, this is just an example. I don't know what he was up to. I can guess. I could guess that he wanted to rape her. I could guess that maybe he wanted to steal my granddaughter. I don't know. These are just guesses. But you can understand why people would be leery. And as things get harder and harder, and as things get more expensive, and people can't afford stuff, they're hungry, they're tired, they're cold, or they're extremely hot. Possibly their children are starving, which I think if your child was starving, that's going to make you even more aggressive about food. So, I would advise you to not let everybody know what you have stored, and I would recommend that you find a way to protect it, whatever that looks like for you. And sadly, I would recommend not to be very trusting. Until the last couple of years, I've been very trusting. And then trust but verify. I wouldn't say I was very trusting. I should correct that. I always wanted to know what people's motives were. So, yeah. Anyway, Hippie Chick brought that to mind to me, and I thought I would share that with you. Kindness can get you killed. Not wanting to tell someone to leave your house. You want to know how you might ask, well, why did she let him in? Well, what had happened was she was in the shower when he came, and her daughter answered the door. And because she recognized him from Dunkin', and because he was always so nice to her, she let him in. So he was in the house. He was in the house before my daughter knew what was going on. Luckily, nothing happened. Thank heavens, nothing happened. But it just goes to show, your kindness can get you killed or hurt or whatever. And it's sad. It's very, very sad. Very, very sad. Again, thank you for coming over here and subscribing. Keep on stacking and stocking. Things are going to get worse. I feel it. It's been on my heart that things are going to get worse. I have actually felt this way since March of 2020. I felt like that wasn't the biggest shoe that was going to drop. And it's always weighed on me. And in the back of my mind, I'm waiting and I'm waiting. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe not. But I'd rather be prepared than be caught unprepared. This is Shelly's Everyday Prepping Adventures. Thank you, and have a blessed day.